In the previous video, we talked about and introduced the range-based for loop. Super cool if you're working with arrays. Now, let's talk about modifying an array with a range-based for loop, because you can do this too. It's pretty cool. As the range-based for loop executes, we know its range variable contains only a copy of an array element. So if we look at this example, which is from the previous video, it's in the playlist link below the like button where we talked about it. We have this int range variable and we set it to array, and we're using this variable to go through all of the indexes of our array and print the element at that index. It only contains a copy of an array element though. We cannot use a range-based for loop to modify the contents of an array unless you declare the range variable as a reference. So this range variable, notice the difference from this example to this example. We have this ampersand in front of it. And if you remember, this is how we would use references. If we want to modify the original variable while also having a copy of that variable, we use references. So to declare the range variable as a reference, all you need is the ampersand symbol in front of it, like how I have on line 18. So you write the ampersand in front of its name in the loop header, and then inside the loop, once it's declared a reference variable, we can use it just as the name itself. So you can see I'm setting it equal to 20. Every time this runs, instead of printing out the elements here, it's going to update the elements at that index to 20, since I'm setting it equal to 20, and then print it out. And that's our cout here. That's pretty much it. You might not think it's super useful, but you can have like cases where you have checks, and if a certain element is this, you do this. So you can have different if statements inside of this for loop where you modify specific data that's passed in. There's a lot of possibilities, but this is just the basics, and that's how we would modify an array with a range-based for loop. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and if you want more C++ playlists, below the like button.